In the rich folklore of the Caribbean, there is a being that is both revered and feared, a powerful force of nature that is said to inhabit the deepest parts of the forest. His name is Papa Bois, and he is known as the master of the forest, the protector of all its creatures. With his antlers and his shaggy fur, he is a formidable figure, a force of nature that commands respect and awe. But he is also a guardian, a wise and benevolent being who watches over the land and its inhabitants. In this video, we will explore the legend of Papa Bois and discover the truth behind one of the most fascinating figures in Caribbean folklore. Today, we will explore the elusive and enigmatic accounts of Papa Bois. Papa Bois goes by many names, all referring to Father of the Woods or Forest, including Maître Bois, which is the Master of the Woods, and Daddy Bouchin, which is the Hairy Man. His names are a result of an African/French hybrid. Legend has it that Papa Bois is a spirit of the forest who has been around for centuries, protecting the animals and plants from those who would do them harm. He is often depicted as an old man with a long beard, though in some instances he's been seen as a young man with slightly odd features, wearing animal skins and carrying a staff. His eyes are said to be piercing, and his voice is deep and resonant, commanding respect from all who encounter him. Many people believe that Papa Bois is a kind and gentle spirit, who only seeks to protect the forest and its inhabitants. He is said to be able to communicate with animals, and often takes on the form of a deer or other forest creature in order to move through the forest undetected. However, despite his peaceful nature, Papa Bois is also known to be a fearsome warrior. He is said to be able to summon powerful storms, create earthquakes, and cause trees to uproot and topple over. These powers are not used for malicious reasons, but rather to defend the forest from those who seek to destroy it. One story tells of a group of hunters who had entered the forest with the intention of killing as many animals as they could. They had no respect for the forest or its inhabitants, and had even started to chop down trees in order to make a fire. Suddenly, they heard a loud voice that seemed to come from all around them. It was the voice of Papa Bois, warning them to leave the forest and never return. When they refused to listen, he called upon the powers of the earth and the sky to punish them. The hunters were pelted with rain, buffeted by wind, and finally knocked to the ground by a bolt of lightning. Terrified and humbled, they fled the forest and never returned. Papa Bois is often seen as a symbol of the importance of protecting the natural world. His legend has been passed down through generations, and many people still believe that he watches over the forest, ensuring that it remains healthy and vibrant for years to come. As the sun sets on another day in the Caribbean, the animals of the forest begin to stir. They know that Papa Bois is watching over them, and they feel safe and protected. And even though many people have never seen him with their own eyes, they know that he is there, a silent guardian of the forest, always watching and always ready to defend. Despite his many powers and abilities, Papa Bois is not invincible. As with all living beings, he too can be wounded or weakened. It is said that one of the few things that can harm Papa Bois is the sound of metal scraping against metal, such as the clash of swords in battle. This weakness was put to the test in a story from long ago. A group of bandits had been terrorizing the people of a nearby village, stealing their crops and livestock and leaving destruction in their wake. The villagers had had enough and decided to take matters into their own hands. They armed themselves with swords and marched into the forest to confront the bandits. Papa Bois had been watching the situation unfold and knew that violence was not the answer. He appeared before the villagers in the form of an old man and pleaded with them to reconsider their actions. But the villagers were determined to take revenge and refused to listen. As the two groups clashed, the sound of metal on metal filled the forest. Papa Bois was weakened by the noise and fell to the ground, unable to continue his efforts to stop the violence. Seeing the old man in distress, the villagers finally realized the error of their ways and put down their weapons. With the fighting ended, Papa Bois was able to recover and heal. The villagers apologized for their actions and promised to do better in the future. From that day on, they worked together with Papa Bois to protect the forest and ensure that it would remain a place of peace and beauty for generations.